Hey, welcome everyone to this Scorpio new moon sacred circle on November 21st, 2025. So I don't know about you, but this has been a crazy week for me in terms of Mercury retrograde, traveling, disruptions, missing buses, um, confusion because I don't speak Turkish and I'm in Turkey, and really depending upon trust and fortitude and courage to keep going on this gypsy wagon trail with Isis. So at the moment, technology has been a challenge to actually navigate this whole Zoom that I've done 1,000 times. So let's just go into our hearts first of all and just come into the sacred space of the heart. I always, I always find myself even walking down the street now, putting my hand on my heart, coming back into the heart because this is where we're headed as we go through this time of the great awakening, the great reconstruction, the great breaking down for the breakthrough that we're happening on the earth. We're all just in that tsunami, actually, of the energies. So I like to always start with putting one hand on the heart, the other hand on the belly, and just telling our inner children, I'm here with you and I'm not going anywhere. I'm here with you and I'm not going anywhere. I'm here with you and I'm not going anywhere. And I find that when I do that, I just can anchor into the physical touch on the body just tells the inner child that it's being held. And then I like to move to that next point of just hugging myself and telling my inner child, you are lovable and I love you and I'm holding you no matter what. You're being held. Let's just take a big breath on that and blow out. Yeah. So I'm just going to do some sounding just to clear the energies of the intensity of this day. This day on the 21st, the new moon was yesterday on the 20th. The 21st, the sun is absolutely exactly conjunct Uranus. And Uranus is the great awakener. And this is really a time of great intensity when that happens. So let's just clear the air with this sounding. Just let it go into the physical, the mental, the emotional bodies to just release whatever's blocked and to recalibrate. So here we go. Close your eyes. Mama mama na 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 mama ma na 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 mama ma na 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 mama 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 na 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 iyo 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 shoo, shoo, shoo. So take the breath, recalibrate, just anchor with your feet into the earth. Anchor from the seat that you're sitting on, feeling yourself totally connected to Mother Earth. Going to project that blend earth love. Receive it now. The breath. So I'm reminded about anchoring the Jed. And this is a term from ancient Egypt. The Jed is considered the backbone of Osiris, and Osiris is the god of the underworld. So the raising of the Jed is shown in actually hieroglyphs on the walls in ancient Egypt of a figure actually pushing the hieroglyph of the Jed up into the upright position. And I feel like this is really what we are being called to do now, is to really anchor the Jed. The Jed is to be anchored during times of great transition on planet Earth. So it's really about holding space, anchoring the Jed, holding space, right? Holding space, first of all, for ourselves, for our own transitioning through our own challenges that are happening in our life, really doing that with anchoring to the inner child. I'm here with you. I'm not going anywhere. And then holding space for the whole planetary movie that we're in, right? Because there's so much noise out there, and there's so many things being revealed that we might not have known about. Something is being revealed that we've known about, but hasn't been out there in the populace. So this last 2 months, November and December of 2025, we're in we're in a number 9 year of completion. So it's intense. And we're in the last 2 months, 6 weeks of that completion year. So everything that hasn't been cleared yet is really coming up. We're also in that month or the sun sign of Scorpio, which is all about revealing what's been hidden, what's been swept under the rug, the things that we haven't wanted to look at personally, and the things that the governments and the power of the world didn't want us to see. So this is where we are now, right? It's like we are in the mega cleanup cycle of the number 9 year. So also with this day being the sun being fully conjunct at 29 degrees with Uranus. The Uranus is a great awakener, bringing in the shocks, the sudden shifts, the surprises that really, it's said to help us be able to change the things that we weren't able to change on our own. So Uranus comes in to be that lightning bolt to create the change. So I don't know what's going to be the result of this opposition today, but we do know that astrologically, we're being really moved into a whole new what? We're being moved by all of these revelations and revealing into a whole new understanding of what's been happening on the planet and what a recalibration of our own selves, is Scorpio is really about looking into the depths of the darkness. So here we are to do that today. Thank you for being with me. And let's just call in the masters now. Create that sacred space. So putting your hands on your heart or in a prayer position, just tuning into the heart. And what I'm feeling about this day is that sense of knowing that something big is really about ready to break through. That's what I'm sensing. So let's just call in the masters, the beings of light, into this sacred circle. I call forth now 144 Hathor guardians and 88 Hathor gatekeepers. Take your places. Beloved Alpha and Omega, Helios and Vesta, God and Goddess Meru, come. Lord Maitreya, come. Gautama Buddha, come. 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Place your presence here with us. Beloved Archangel Michael and the archangels and archei, form a circle around our space. Anchor now your columns and pillars of light. Ein Sof, come. Mighty seraphim, come. Gold and silver dragons. Isis and Osiris, Yeshua and Magdalene. Kuan Yin and Avalokiteshvara. Cosmic Mother Mary, Queen of Heaven, Archangel Raphael, come. Archangel Metatron and Lord Melchizedek. Isis, Toth, Anubis, Sekhmet, Ptah, Nut, and Geb, and Horus. Saint Germain and Portia. Pallas Athena, Lady Liberty, the Great Karmic Board. Sanat Kumara, Lady Master Venus. Serapis Bey, El Moria, Katumi, Dwa Kul, Lord Lanto Confucius. Nada, Hilarion, and Paul the Venetian. Sananda Sanada, the Ashtar Command. Your own twin flame and soulmate family. Your star ancestors and familial ancestors. We call in now the Syrians, the Andromedans, the Pleiadians, the Lyrians. And all of the Christed ETs who are holding space with us. During this cycle of the planetary ascension. We connect now to the spaceships holding space around the Earth. And even into our aspects that are on those spaceships, those parts of us. Yeah. As we connect in now with 144 aspects of our own being, 12 aspects in 12 dimensions, we open to receive now that direct connection. Call in the dolphins, the whales, the unicorns, the dragon, the mer people, all of our relations, the crystalline beings, the inner earth beings, Telos, the ascended beings, and the angelics. We call in now the nature beings, the two-legged ones, the four-legged ones, the creepy crawly ones, the winged ones. And let's now call in the beings that ensoul the planets in the alignments that they're in right now at this time of this moon. So all of the planets are ensouled by a conscious being. So when we actually call them in at their degrees, we're actually making that connection directly to the consciousness that holds the space for that planet. So we call in the sun and the moon, both at 28 degrees, 11 minutes of Scorpio. Helios and Vesta ensoul our sun. Call in Mercury at 28 degrees of Scorpio and Venus at 16 degrees of Scorpio. Mars at 11 degrees of Sagittarius. Jupiter at 25 degrees of Cancer retrograde. Saturn at 25 degrees of Pisces retrograde. Uranus at 29 degrees of Taurus retrograde. Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces retrograde. Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius. We ask now to make that connection. We call in these beings in a circle around our sacred circle, that we might be held within your cosmic embrace. That we might feel you and come into more direct communication with that which you have to offer with us, to us. Let's just take the breath now. Feel the masters, the angels, the beings all around us. As we look at the astrology, the numerology of this Scorpio new moon. First, I'm going to project the blend alchemical rebirth soul alignment, because this is really what's happening with this new moon. We are undergoing an alchemical rebirth, which takes us to the greater soul alignment. So here's the blend, alchemical rebirth soul alignment. Receive it now. And take the breath. Just let it land. So the new moon was on yesterday on November 20th. The sun and the moon were at 28 degrees, 11 minutes of Scorpio. So let's first take a look at those codes. So the moon and the sun at 28 degrees gives us a 2828 code. Mercury is also conjunct with them at 28 degrees of Scorpio. So that gives us a 282828 code. And the number 28 reflects balance and abundance. So it's really showing us that we are being called to come into a greater balance in all aspects of our life and to really open up to the abundance that's truly there for us when we allow it to be there with grace and with ease directly from the universe, right? So the number 8 symbolizes abundance. It's material success. It's the flow, cosmic order, the infinity of infinite possibilities. So when they're together, it encourages us to come into unity, to come into wholeness, to know that there is an infinite number of possibilities for our life and infinite abundance when we allow ourselves to rise up higher out of the third and fourth dimensional concepts of how we are supported in the physicality through abundance and through money. So the 28 emphasizes inner wisdom, balancing of inner wisdom with external achievements. So really with the focus on finances and success and karmic rewards. So 28 is the number of karmic rewards, the time of the harvest of the good deeds that we've done throughout all of our lifetimes. So we're really calling in that alignment with 28. So let's just do that right now. 28 alignment. 28 alignment. 28 alignment. And the 28 reduces to a 10. And that's the number of 1 is our own individual sovereignty, and the 0 is infinite possibilities, and it's the number of new beginnings, infinite new beginnings. So let's receive now the codes of the 10 energetically. I'm projecting it now. And I'm going to send in the blend, infinite possibilities. So receive that now. Because it's infinite and we're infinite. So where's the separation? You know, where do we feel contracted? That we don't have enough, that we're not good enough, that there's never enough, when actually we're infinite and there's infinite possibilities. So just lean into that. And then there's that 1111 code, right? Because the sun and the moon were at 28 degrees, 11 minutes. So let's just go back and visit that 11. So we get an 1111 code of the ascension. So let's receive the code of the number 11, the frequency and the vibration of walking through the 2 pillars, the black and the white pillar that was always in front of the mystery schools. We walked through that, through the gateway into new possibilities and walking the middle way of balance. Okay. Whew. So Mercury is conjunct the sun and the moon, and they're all opposite Uranus, which is at retrograde at 29 degrees of Taurus. So 29 degrees, we have a lot of 29 degrees in this astrology, actually. Let me just pull back up that window I just closed so we can really take a look at that. Yeah, Uranus is at 29 degrees. Neptune is at 29 degrees. Today, the sun has moved to 29 degrees of Scorpio. So today we are really at the last final moment of Scorpio before the sun moves into Sagittarius. So 29 is the aneretic degree, and it's always like the strongest point of the whole sign, the energetics of the sign. So it's that intensity, right? And I don't know about you, but I'm really like feeling that intensity of the this opposition, direct opposition and direct alignment of the sun to Uranus that's happening today. So 1111 is the ascension code of spiritual initiations and mastery. So we're really being asked by this code to come into a greater mastery in all aspects of our being as we move through the evolution, our soul evolution into higher and higher consciousness. So Scorpio itself brings up, it's connected to intimacy, to sex, to control, to power, money, and revealing secrets. It likes to dig deep to like really discover, uncover that which has been hidden. And this is both within ourselves and within the outer collective of the planet that we live in. So one of the aspects of Scorpio is transmission, transformation, and rebirth. That's whole cycle of the rebirth. Because we can't put the new wine into old wineskins. So Scorpio comes in to help us release that which no longer serves and to come up higher. So I'm going to in the rebirth. So I'm going to give you that blend of rebirth right now. So rebirth. Take the breath. So the sun is shining light on what we don't want to take a look at or what we've consciously or unconsciously ignored regarding our finances and issues of physical safety, sexuality, and death. And it's activating these cycles of death and rebirth. So we're being called to undergo the deconstruction of that which no longer serves us in our lives. And the moon is in this new moon of Scorpio is bringing up lots of emotions regarding the past. And it's that combined with Mercury retrograde conjunct is taking us to reviewing our relationships, right? To taking a look at relationships of the past. And Pluto is the ruler of this new moon, and it's bringing in the frequency of transformation. Pluto is all about transformation. It's also about death and rebirth. So one of the aspects of Scorpio is the evolution of the soul from the three symbols that are connected to Scorpio. So first of all, the scorpion with the reactive sting and the vindictive aspects to it. The evolution from the scorpion is to the eagle, which is that higher eagle vibration and vision, right? Because the eagle sits on the highest trees. It flies higher than any other birds. It has that higher vibration. It can actually it's an upgrade from the Scorpio 3D of being in the sting to the eagle's higher vision of observation and witness, right? I'm going to give you that blend, eagle's ascent, soaring vision. And take the breath. Release it. And then the next higher evolution of that is to the Phoenix, where we can really just allow the past. We can shed the snakeskin of the past, allow the old us, the old me, to step into the fire of transmutation. So that the sacred fire can burn away all that is dross, all that we don't need anymore. And out of that burning up of the old us as the old phoenix, the new phoenix is born. So this is the potentiality of the Scorpio season, is that we can actually make that kind of a huge evolutionary jump for ourselves. And this is what we're calling in with this new moon. Also, in the astrology is the grand water trine. And this is the sun and the moon and Mercury all conjunct in Scorpio, trining Neptune retrograde at 29 degrees and Saturn at retrograde at 25 degrees, both in Pisces. So we have the Scorpio, Pisces, and then the Jupiter trine, which is in Cancer at 25 degrees of Cancer retrograde and 25 degrees of Cancer. So this, the water can go anywhere and it has many forms, right? It has steam, it has the physical water, it has the ice. So it's fluid. It can change properties when it needs to at different temperatures, depending upon what's happening around it. And the thing about water is that it doesn't resist, right? It goes over the rocks when it can, it goes under when it needs to, it goes around when it also needs to, so it's like you're able to move with the flow, literally, with this grand water trine. And it brings up a stronger intuition and inner knowing. And it's really asking us to adapt in new ways to new situations, right? To flow with where our soul is asking us to flow to without resistance. Mm. And also in the stellium, which is a grouping of planets together in one sign of Scorpio, we have Black Moon Lilith is conjunct the sun, the moon, and Mercury in Scorpio. And if you don't know about the Black Moon Lilith, it's calculated from the furthest point in the moon's orbit around the Earth. So it's really an aspect in the shadow, right? And it represents a point that symbolizes the hidden and often suppressed aspects of our own personality, particularly related to the themes of sexuality, independence, and rebellion. And it really encourages us to confront and embrace the shadow, what we call the shadow parts of ourselves. And even those parts of ourselves that might be deemed unconventional or taboo by society. But Lilith helps us when we confront those issues, we step into our own empowerment, and that is the beauty of this. So I have a blend called Dark Mother. So I'm going to project that. And this is really the image of the Black Madonna. It doesn't put any judgment on what's coming up. And this is so important now that we don't judge ourselves for what we're not being good enough, not having done it right, all of the nots that we can blame ourselves for. This is a part of this process that we're going through in the rebirth. So we have 6 planets and the north and south nodes in retrograde, which are calling us to go inside and inquire within. So embracing what we would call the darkness, the shadow side, that which we don't want to take a look at, that which we don't want anybody else to see about ourselves. You know, we all have skeletons in our closet, meaning that we did things, we said things, we showed up in ways that, looking back on that situation, we wouldn't do it that way again. We all have that. But at some point, we have to come to peace with that and go, you know what? It was all perfect. It was just a part of our own evolution and to where we are now and where we are actually going, right? So this whole process of looking within the retrograde planets take us deep, deep, deep into our own psychology. And Scorpio takes us deep, deep, deep into our own psychology. And the retrogrades it's like sorting through the files, sorting through the karmic records, looking for that which needs to be purged and that we don't need anymore. And it's really fueling our desire and our search for meaning and our desire to define or refine our life purpose, like so many people, especially women. I don't know so much about the men, but the women are going through this huge process of re-evaluation, taking a look at ourselves, our gifts, what we have to offer, um, what we want to prune that we don't from ourselves that we don't want to carry forward, right? And taking a big, deep look at relationships, So many women here in Turkey, the men, the older men, let's just put it that, the older men are not very conscious at all. And I don't know about the younger men, but I see so many cases where the women are really carrying the load and the men are not even appreciative of what the women are doing. So we saw from the codes of the last moons that the 13 code came in a lot, which is the code of the divine feminine. And so what we're doing during this process is that we are elevating the divine feminine and bringing more of a balance into the male and female aspects, the balance within society. And for our own introspection, we are looking at ourselves to say, okay, this is what I want to keep, and this is what I don't. When they ask Michelangelo how he sculpted the David, he said, I just saw the David inside, and I just removed that which was not the David. So this is what we have to do. We have to look at ourselves and the perfection of our own I am presence being in physical embodiment in this body temple, and just be willing to release and surrender and transmute that which is not that divine aspect of ourselves. So in that process, we have to look within. So I'm going to give you the blend. Know thyself, the soul's journey within. Receive it now. And take the breath and hold it in. Let's just say this prayer. Beloved, I am presence. Please show me the aspects of myself that I haven't been willing to see, that I've wanted to be kept hidden from myself, and most of all from others. What is it now about me, my personality, patterns, my belief systems, my actions that wants to be purged now by this fire, the refiner's fire of Scorpio? Show it to me now, that I might bless it and release it into the sacred fire flame of the violet flame of transmutation. I don't need it anymore, and I am ready. Show me and take me there. Thank you. So Uranus at 29 degrees of Taurus is sextile to Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees. And this is wonderful because Uranus is the great awakener and Neptune is the higher, spiritual planet, right? So the higher mind, where we go to dream, where we go to see a higher vision for ourselves and for the planet. So this sextile is really helping us to redirect and to bring in the birth of something radically new and different. So just like the conjunction, the opposition between the stellium in Scorpio, opposite Uranus in Taurus, it's really bringing in the potential of shocking news and spiritual evolution in a whole new way. It can actually bring in epiphanies where we have a whole new realization of something that we hadn't been able to see before. It can bring in definite awakenings and life changes as these epiphanies come. You know, it's like when we have an epiphany and we know something new, we can never not know it after that because we know it now. And the other aspect is like we don't know what we don't know, right? So this sextile is really helping us to receive new information as those retrogrades, they're both in retrograde. So let's bless the retrogrades and let's bless this time period that is really allowing us to sort through the files so we can remove the clutter, remove that which is unnecessary, remove now through the violet flame that which we no longer want on our karmic record. Yeah, because that's what the violet flame does. So I'm going to give you that blend, God source alignment, embracing change. God source alignment, embracing change. Receive it now. Take the breath and hold it. Release it now. And now, if you saw my message to bring something to write on, we're just going to we're going to address a couple of questions here. And we're just going to write down whatever comes up. You know, in the Ancient Secrets community to which I belong to, we do the marmas. And the marma for what do you want is you put your right hand up and you squeeze your index finger and you put a white frame in front of your right eye when you're doing this marma. So it's the what do you want marma. So what we're asking here is, you can do this marma while we do it. What is it that my heart truly wants me to leave behind before the end of the year? In terms of beliefs, habits, relationships, jobs, locations, anything that you're done with, that you don't need anymore. So what do you want? Let's do the what do you want, Marma, and just see what pops up in your frame. What do you want to release? And you actually squeeze the finger 6 times while you visualize or receive the answer to that question. So we're using it. What do you want to release? Let's do it again. Okay. So let's just write down what it is that you're willing and wanting to release during this time frame between now and the end of the year. So we're just going to take a minute here in silence to do this. Okay, and then when you're done with that, we're going to go to taking advantage now of that Neptune trine, right? The Neptune trine with the in the grand trine, and go to what is the highest vision I can hold for myself right now. Let's just take a look at that. What is the highest vision I can hold for myself right now? What do you see? What is your soul calling you to move into? But then I'm going to give you future dreaming, seeding intentions. So the new moon is about new beginnings. We saw that there were a lot of codes in there, but actually, before we can have the new beginning, we have to get rid of that old wineskin and get a new wineskin. So these last weeks are really about boldly facing our shadow, facing what has been holding us back, facing our self-sabotages, and doing the spiritual alchemy work to release them, to transmute them into light. Because higher consciousness is going into higher frequencies, right? When we raise our vibration, we actually are raising our consciousness to a higher level. So Saint Germain is the master alchemist, right? He is the master of the violet flame. He actually brought back the violet flame to the planet in 1930s through Guy Ballard on Mount Shasta. And he and Portia, his twin flame, are the hierarchs of the Aquarian age, of the new golden age, right? So right now, what's on the planet collectively is this downloading of the frequencies of the divine feminine and anchoring them in a more empowered, tangible, physical way. Not to create a matriarchy, but to bring the male and the female into balance and really to heal the wounded male, because the male is really wounded in so many ways, many males, but the females are also wounded. We're all wounded, it's like from this lifetime and carryovers from other lifetime. The project that we're working on is healing our soul, healing the soul wounds, and the inner child is the soul. And the soul is the inner child. So it comes up through those traumas that we haven't been able to integrate and receive the lesson from. And so they're still hanging out as traumas that get triggered. So this is what's coming up. This is the shadow stuff. And it's like, we don't need to put a judgment on it. Just go, yeah, bring it on. So I can just do the spiritual alchemy. I can acknowledge it and acknowledge to my inner child that she carried or he carried that wound, and now it's time to move on, to put it into the flame and just take the good, whatever was right about it, right? My friend Diana says, well, what was right about that? So anytime that we have those energies coming up that we feel guilt around or shame around or we want to hide from, just take a look as the witness, as the eagle, and say, okay, what was right about that? And how did it serve my evolution? Yeah. So Saint Germain was the Wonder Man of Europe. He appeared in the courts of Europe for over 300 years. That was documented by the journals of those who were in the courts. And he was actually there to raise the consciousness within the courts of Europe and the leaders of Europe at that time. And he could do physical alchemy. He could take a diamond that was imperfect and make it perfect. He showed them many manifestations of spiritual alchemy, because it's all about frequency and vibration, isn't it? So the alchemists of old, it said that they were uh, changing lead into gold, which they could do in a physicality sense. But what they were really working on was the changing of the human consciousness into the divine. And this is what we are doing now as we are on the project of stepping into Christ consciousness, the consciousness of unconditional love and acceptance and unity, as we begin to embrace the concept of the law of the one, that we're all connected, like everything is connected, everything has consciousness. You know, what we do to somebody else, we do to ourselves. When we help somebody else, we help ourselves, for instance, you know. So it's all about alchemy. So let's just see what Saint Germain wants to give to us as a teaching and as a spiritual initiation through alchemy. And I'm going to shut my video off for this. So let's just go inside, place that one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Really opening the heart space, welcoming in Saint Germain. Mm. It is I, Saint Germain, and with me is my beloved Portia. And we come ablaze with the violet flame into the center of your circle. For we are here to assist you in transmuting the karmic records that still keep you bound. To lower states of consciousness and frequency. For the violet flame transmutes all that is unreal. And frees that energy to be transmuted into light. It recycles. The energy that has been misdirected and misused. Into light. And so when we place now a pillar of violet flame over each of you, the violet flame itself has intelligence and knows exactly what to do. And in its action as this pillar, begins to clean and transmute that which is held within your physical, mental, emotional, and memory bodies. When you have a trauma experience, that trauma is stored within all of your bodies. And pinpointed and deposited within a specific place of your physical body. And then this trauma becomes a blockage to the flow of light within your body. It becomes a wound in the emotional body. And it becomes a thought that repeats itself in the mental body. This thought is the belief system you took on at the moment of trauma. I'm bad. I'm not lovable. I'm guilty. It's all my fault. All the ways that you took on a false belief about yourself as a result of the experience. And then that experience is stowed within the memory body as a karmic record. That gets triggered again when something similar happens to you. And so these belief systems keep getting reinforced, not only through events in this lifetime, but also carried over from unresolved traumas in other lifetimes. And so in this moment, we are transmuting those things that you wrote down on your paper that you wanted to let go of. And we are transmuting physical toxins within your body. And the unresolved traumas that keep you limited and from seeing and knowing who you truly are as a cosmic being. In a human body. And we would invite you to use the violet flame on a daily basis. Liberally. To transmute not only things within your personal world and physicality, but to send the violet flame from your own causal body and your own mastery to transmute conditions on the earth and situations that are not of the highest light. See yourself as a moving pillar of violet flame when you walk among the people. That they might receive it as the fire is passed, as in a burning fire from one individual stick to the next. You too can become what we are going to call walking sticks or walking pillars of the violet flame. So that you can ignite others on fire when they come in contact with you, directly or indirectly as you walk past them, as you interact with them. As your eyes meet theirs on the street. You can choose to become an emissary of light of the violet flame. Simply by calling down the violet flame from your own causal body and asking it to be a pillar of violet flame around you as you walk through your days. That you might be an ambassador of the violet flame for the transmutation of all that is not aligned with holy purpose. And you can send this violet flame out through your hands, through your third eye, through your heart, into specific situations. That are out playing in the world. You can send it to individuals. And you can call upon the violet flame fireballs from the heart of the violet planet to descend into the heart of the earth and also into specific situations, such as wars, conflicts. You can use these violet flame spheres to transmute toxins in the water and in the air and in the earth. Call forth those violet flame fireballs from the heart of the planet, the violet flame planet, and use them liberally. Much can be done through even one person calling them forth. Send them into the chemtrails, into the pollutions of the earth, into the toxins, into the food, and yes, even into the very physical bodies of those that you see around you who may be in need of assistance in this cosmic cleanup that we are undertaking. And so, beloveds, we ask you to become our emissaries of the violet flame, to use it daily, to call down that pillar of violet flame around your own body, and to consciously walk through the crowds, lighting them on fire with the violet flame. You can even call in the purple fiery dragons. Their commander is George, the purple fiery dragon. And you can call him and his fiery dragons into action to transmute the pollution in the water, the air, the earth, and even in the minds of the people. And so, beloveds, we ask you to be in partnership with us, to use this violet flame to clean up the planet in preparation for the anchoring fully of the golden age of Saint Germain. There is much work to do to raise the consciousness of the people. And you, as one individual using the violet flame in this way, can transmute not only that which is within you, that is not aligned with the frequency of Christ consciousness, but you can accelerate the planetary cleanup. And so we thank you for receiving this message, for receiving the intensity of the violet flame that we have placed around you and through you by our presence. And for receiving now this message from our hearts. The time is now. Take your places, take your stations. Be joyful as you go about your day, knowing that you are a pillar of violet flame. And the violet flame is known as the joy flame and the flame of freedom. And we would furthermore ask you to play the waltzes on your music devices. Transmute the flame of the waltz out into the world, for it carries the frequency of the violet flame. And you can even ask, as another aspect of spiritual alchemy, for the violet flame orchestras, the etheric violet flame orchestras, to come play in the midst of the masses of people. There's no limit with what you can do with this spiritual alchemy. You can send billions of violet flame fireballs into crowds of people gathered for sports events, for instance. You can call in the purple fiery dragons to do their perfect work. You can call in the violet flame orchestra in places that feel heavy, such as governmental agencies, or stores. You can infuse now, you can walk into a grocery store, for instance, and infuse everything in that store with the violet flame. And then when the food is eaten, it is taken into the bodies of the people. You can infuse the waters of the earth and the water that you're drinking with the violet flame, and it will do its perfect work. And so, beloveds, we thank you for becoming an emissary of light and a bearer of the violet flame. We love you. We thank you for your service throughout all your lifetimes. We see you. We know you. We are one with you. And we thank you. We thank you. We thank you. Namaste. Now, slowly, slowly coming back into your body. Let's pour gratitude from our hearts to Portia and Saint Germain, God and Goddess of freedom. And giving thanks for the golden age that they have already prepared for us, and that we are now preparing the evolutions of Earth to receive. Mm. So, what a beautiful message with Saint Germain. Beautiful initiation of that violet flame pillar all around us and teaching us how to use the violet flame and to be emissaries of light of the violet flame. So thank you, thank you, thank you for those who are here in the physical and those who are here in the physical in the quantum realm and who will receive it later. Such a blessing. Mm. And so let's take this time of these next 2 weeks to the full moon to really go inside and do this spiritual alchemy, that we might use the violet flame to transmute that which we are carrying that is a burden and that we no longer need. Mhm. And really begin in earnest this practice as walking as a column of violet fire, igniting everyone that we come in contact with the violet flame. So, whew, sending you so much love. So much gratitude. Mm. Blessings to everyone.